Hi guys, welcome to the Sky City YouTube channel. I'm Becky.
Cedric Sky City.
And today we are going to discuss a topic that will amaze, astound, and bring wonder to your life.
Yeah, we're basically going to be talking about why we will be staying in Korea for a long time.
Psh, throw the confetti.
Yeah, we wanted to just talk a little bit about why we are not only in Korea, but like why we plan on living here for, I guess you could say, the foreseeable future.
So we're planning on being here for a bit.
That's true.
Time.
That's true.
But we don't know how long for. And there are reasons for that.
Wow, this is going so smoothly. Okay, so I actually came here a little over 2 years ago, and my intent moving here was, I think I'm gonna stay here probably for at least 10 years, 15 years, maybe even forever, I don't know.
Really? Was that your intent?
No, actually, yeah. I wanted to like stay indefinitely.
Wow.
And so I wanted to just like establish myself here. That was the plan. And I wouldn't say that's not the plan anymore, but I'm a little bit more flexible. But with everything going on right now, that got me thinking, should I just stay here pretty much forever? Because, you know, I'm originally from the United States, and so is Becky. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of great reasons for me personally. I don't want to speak for you, but for me to stay here.
Okay.
For a long time.
What are those reasons?
Well, one, Korea is just like so convenient with everything, right? Well, almost everything. From just the day-to-day, like doing everything you need to do, getting around the city, to like purchasing things and using online services. Like sometimes I'll use a service called Coupon, which is basically kind of like an Amazon, right, of Korea. And sometimes you can like order something and on the same day have it delivered.
And it will arrive that
so,
day.
Yeah, it's so convenient, and the shipping is usually very minimal or even free. Yeah, so I mean, super convenient to live here. I mean, I've talked about it before on this channel. But, you know, I mean, there are many other like good elements to why I want to stay here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair one. When I came to Korea, I was planning to stay for 2 years, and that was it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because I just was going to stay for 2 years. Then there was this job in Europe that I wanted to apply for. And in order for that job, one of the prerequisites to have 2 years of experience in your country of interest. Because I was more interested in the diplomacy route. Like
That's right.
International affairs. So I was like, 2 years, then I'm going to go. That was my plan. But then you know what drew me to stay? Is that I got into modeling, I got into music and entertainment business, and it was kind of like my first love, like reignited inside me again. And I couldn't leave. And so that was one of the reasons why I've been here for so long.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities kept coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the opportunities are still coming for you?
I feel like here, I'm almost like a big fish in a small pond. That is how I feel. I feel as if I went to, say, like the US, like if I wanted to go to Hollywood or something, I would be a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah,
That
definitely
kind
way
of
more
feeling.
people, way more competition, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but then again, I don't really know. I've never tried. I've never actually had like professional experience in any other country except for Korea, so I couldn't say for sure.
Right.
So maybe one of the reasons why I have stayed here for so long is because I was getting comfortable with jobs and opportunities keep coming. And I was like, yeah, I kind of build my resume, build. Then I'm gonna take all this and then go to another country.
Right.
And by other country, I mean, I wanted to go to like Italy or France. That was my plan.
Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot more recently is the accessibility to healthcare. It's very important because, you know, I have considered moving back to the States and settling there potentially, maybe in a few years, as early as that. And this is just really just, you know, a couple of months ago, just kind of thinking, what do I really want to do? Where do I want to go? But this is a huge thing because if you guys don't know about Korea's healthcare system, it's
amazing.
It's amazing, to say the least. It's very efficient. It's affordable, and at this point, if you are a resident of Korea and you are working here with a company, you're likely going to be provided with some sort of healthcare through the company. If not, if you're like Becky and I, where we have F4 visas and we freelance, we have to pay out of pocket.
You signed up, mandatorily.
Yeah, so we have to actually pay for insurance, but it's a little over, it's probably about $100 for us. And with that, we have access to pretty much any and everything. Yeah, and it's so cheap. Yeah. And I've had services done here, for example, not to get too detailed or anything like that, but I've had services here where I've had the same service in the States. I had to pay a $50 copay plus, whatever other fee associated for that service. Here, I just had that done last week and I only had to pay 11,000 won, which is equivalent to about $8 or $9 for the same thing. And not only that, but it was so much more efficient. So it was in the neighborhood. So I left my house and got there in maybe 5 minutes. I was in and out, back at my house 20 minutes after I left my house. Super efficient. Got in, bam, 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 did what we had to do, and that was it.
Yeah.
Paid the money. So, the reason why it's so important is because not only for myself, but in the future, should I have a family? I know that healthcare, at least in the States, it can get really costly.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you're paying through the company and you have you get a job, it's still pretty expensive because you have to split that cost with your employer. But let's just say you're someone like myself who would likely just own a business in the States. I'm responsible for that insurance. Not only that, but my family, if I were to have kids, man. So and you're paying for, in my opinion, service, generally speaking, that is not as efficient, maybe not as good as what I'm used to here. So that's one of the reasons why I'm I think, Korea looks good to me right now.
That is a big thing too. There was a period when I had no insurance and I went to get my eyes checked up. And I remember I walked in and they're like, you don't have insurance. I said, I know. And they're like, okay, that's fine. So wait for 2 minutes. They call me in and the doctor does everything, check out, check. And then he gives me the prescription and he says, because you don't have insurance, this prescription might be a little expensive. I said, what can I do? Okay. I leave and they say the same thing to me again. You don't have insurance, so consultation might cost a bit. I said, that's okay. So my consultation plus picking up my medicine, a prescribed medicine, total was $20 USD.
Yeah.
And they were like,
insane.
It's gonna be a little expensive. And so I'm like, oh my gosh,
right.
20 USD with no insurance. Another reason why I love it here is the transportation system. I even had been thinking, what if I go to, another country with a metro, for example, like Paris. I thought if I live in Paris, they have a metro, great, I can get around, bike everywhere. But I've been to the metro in Paris, and it doesn't even compare at all to here in Korea, the subway.
Right.
So clean, so fast, gets to everywhere. It's all on time. I feel totally safe at all hours.
Right.
I don't know if I could, do transport anywhere else, honestly.
Yeah, public transportation. I haven't experienced it in many places. New York City for sure, because I worked there for 2 years. And of course, I drove everywhere in the States as well.
Oh yeah, I can't even drive. So.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of places Paris. I did experience. Actually, no, I Ubered everywhere, honestly. So I rode the train once in Paris, so I can't really compare it. But yeah, here it's just very, again, inexpensive, and very easy to get around. Taxi, subway, bus, even flights inter-country flights.
Oh yeah, you know that
cheap.
Incheon Airport is one of, if not the best airport in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely
consistently wins.
Yeah, so transportation definitely is a big reason why it looks good staying here. Now, I haven't actually driven in Korea yet. I do need to get my license.
But there's
here.
No need to have a car.
There's no need.
Yeah.
I don't need a car right now, but I would imagine eventually it would be beneficial you know.
Depends on what you want to do, yeah.
Yeah, like if I want to go down to like Jeju or something where transportation isn't like here in Seoul, that would be nice to be able to rent a car, which is actually pretty cheap here too. So I think another reason why I think I'm going to be in Korea for a while is, you know, I still haven't been able to explore Korea culturally the way I've wanted to and the way I intended to before moving here at this point yet. Even after being here a couple of years, well, 2 years and some change. And that's mostly because, you know, I came here, hit the ground running with working and then really just hustling, doing what I'm doing. And, you know, for those of you guys that know me, I'm very much, I don't know if I would consider myself a workaholic, but I just work, and I'm always pushing stuff off saying I'll get to it, but let me do this first. And what ends up happening is, you know, while like for example, I have friends or teachers who came here around the same time who have seen way more of Korea and experienced way more of Korea than I have.
Sure, yeah.
Because, you know, on the weekends, you know, they'll go out and just take a random trip or hang out with friends at another part of the country.
You have a bigger mission. You have a bigger goal. I mean, you can't just waste your time. You need to go out and go after what you want, and that's why you have to trade. You have to make sacrifices.
That was very dramatic.
Thank you.
But I mean, that's how I see it. But for those that don't have my personality or, you know, my same ambition, because everyone's different. Like those people, I'm not knocking them at all. As a matter of fact, I envy them many times. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. But I know for me, like I have a goal and a mission. But with that being said, I haven't been able to experience
everything you wanted to.
Exactly. So I feel like I need a little bit more time because I want to dig into a little bit more of like the Korean cultural roots and like more of the like deeper things of the culture, honestly. Because you guys, you know, if you guys are rocking with me like way before I moved to Korea, you guys know that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, is just to explore those roots.
Yes.
So I feel like I need more time to do that. I need more time to travel within Korea. And speaking of travel, I want to be able to, once things open up again, I want to be able to travel to nearby Asian countries easily and for cheap.
Yeah, we want to travel a bit.
Yeah.
Another thing is the food.
Oh yeah.
Because, look, I'm so sorry guys. I've tried food everywhere in the world. Literally, I think not everywhere, but I've tried a lot of different types of food. Yeah. Very adventurous eater. And consistently, Korean food is just at the top. Call me biased if you want. I know I am, but I will say Korean food is extremely diverse. It has so many different types of flavors, and there are different types of like cultural aspects tied to certain types of food. It's fun to eat. It's very communal, and in general, very healthy. And then on top of that, Korea, specifically Seoul, has so many of other types of foods here.
Yeah.
You know, I can go get Moroccan food, Italian food, Mexican food, just right over there. Some purists will say that's not real, authentic, but the chefs are really from those countries that I mentioned.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of them, yeah.
And so you can find those foods here, everywhere. And so I myself never feel lacking.
Yeah, same
except
thing.
For like cheap peanut butter.
Cheap peanut butter. That's true. Peanut butter is so freaking
expensive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yo.
You know, or if you want like marshmallow fluff or hot Cheetos. Those are my favorite.
You can't get hot Cheetos here.
No,
not
true.
Easily.
But the food here, honestly, like is very, very good.
Yeah, and it's obviously a personal preference when it comes to food, right? You know, we can't objectively say that.
But we can.
So the thing is, like, food is, we grew up with Korean food, so
Yeah.
I think we have an affinity for it, obviously. But for others who may come here and they can't really get with the food, or they don't have that emotional attachment to Korean food, then it might be an issue. And that's totally understandable. Like, my mom has never really gotten used to American food. Like, she can eat it, but she's never fully satisfied.
What is American food?
I mean, you know, hamburger, hot dog, steaks, shepherd's pie. Is that American? What else? Like pot roast beef, meatloaf.
See, I can understand why.
Hot dogs,
I totally get
hamburgers.
it. Why people who come... You just said that twice.
Oh, did I?
When people who come from countries that have food like this, and then you're delegated to eat that every day, I would have a hard time too.
Yeah. Here's a little bit more of a, I guess, a heavier reason for me at this point is, not to get political at all, but just to express my opinion, I feel like
just to get political.
Yeah, I feel like the United States has got to get it together as far as the government. And I say this from the angle of being a citizen and, you know,
wanting what's best for the country.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I understand that I can exercise my right to vote, even, you know, as I am away. But considering that and considering...
Okay? Excuse
Bless
me,
you.
I'm so sorry.
And a random thing is in Korea, they don't say bless you whenever you sneeze. So
that is very convenient. You know?
It is, because you don't feel the pressure.
You don't feel obligated. Like if it's a person you don't know who sneezes, achoo! You don't have to say
That's
like,
true.
Bless you.
In North Carolina, in the South, we blessing everybody, touching them, bless you, bless you, bless you.
You don't have to do that here.
For me, like considering that, I know that I can exercise my right as a U.S. citizen to vote and to, express, I guess, who I want to be in office. At the same time, I can express my opinion, right? So I feel like the U.S. has got to get it together from a governmental and also a systemic place, right? I mean, we know what's going on right now with not only the pandemic, but we also have what happened with George Floyd and the protests and I guess all of the things that came from that and just the unrest that's in the country. I just feel like America's in a place where we're at a crossroads where I think change has to come, but we also need the right people in place to execute that change. And it takes all of us as citizens together, right? And I don't want to come across as someone who's like in another country looking at America and is like, oh, they're messed up right now. They got to work it out before I come back. No, because I came here prior to any of that happening. But, put yourself in my shoes. You know, if you already considered living in another country for long term anyway, and then you see what's going on, it doesn't really motivate you to come back.
It doesn't really inspire
you know what I mean?
Like, oh, the promised land, I'm returning.
Right.
You don't get those feelings.
Right. The only thing, and I think Becky and I would agree to this, is we have family there that we do want to see. And honestly, for me and also for her, once things again settle down with the pandemic and everything like that, we want to be able to come back to the States whenever we want, throughout the year, and actually do it frequently. That way we are spending time with our families and focusing on what's important in our lives. And so for me, because of all of everything that's going on, that's not the sole reason. Like, I would still move back, honestly. But right now I've already started to establish myself here, and I just want to keep it going, keep it moving. And, who knows what 5-10 years will hold down the road.
Before I met you, there was maybe 2-3 years ago, I thought about just, leaving. Things in Korea, I was just unhappy for many reasons. So I remember I had been at my parents' house for Christmas, and I said, let me go back, get my stuff, and I moved back to the States. That's it. The end. I had just decided that's what I wanted to do. Another opportunity rolls my way, fell for it, did that, and then in the meanwhile, met you. And then he was so keen on staying here that actually did sway me a little bit longer to stay here. Because I was pretty much ready to just leave. I wanted to go to Europe, I think. I didn't know how I was going to make it happen, but I was very interested in that. And then thought, before I go to Europe, I'll go to the States, stay there with my family for a year or so, and then I'll go to Europe. Then you showed up. So who knows where it's going to go. But I myself can say, with my narrow perspective on the world, on politics, what's happening in the US, and the only life that I've lived, personally, I can say the only reason I would ever want to go back to the States is just for my family's sake, honestly. And some friends who are there. But I feel quite comfortable and happy living here as I am, and I feel like I'm achieving things I want to achieve.
Sure.
So I don't know, but then again, like I said, I honestly haven't been in the States for 7 years now, and all of my professional post university career. So I don't really know what it would be like there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But in the meantime, also I do want to say that Becky and I will do everything that we can to support what is happening in the States, because it is our country. And, you know, we want to support, for example, the Black Lives Matter movement, and really just support what we feel is fair and equal for humanity. And we'll do whatever we can from this side of the world to support that. So even though we're not there physically, we're still there in spirit in many ways. We will do what we can to really just exercise our opinion, and and to even vote. What?
This became like vote for Cedric for 2020.
Yo, I might run.
You make a great president.
You think so?
Yeah. It's funny because this video is supposed to be reasons why we want to stay in Korea long term, and then it became, I want to make a change for this government in my country. Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know if you would ever vote for me if I ran for president.
Ooh, I would.
Yeah. If you wouldn't, just don't say nothing. Okay, don't hurt my feelings. Nah, just kidding. But anyways, that's that. We just wanted to let you guys know that. And we'll probably end up making another video in a year or two, you know, and saying why we want to leave Korea. Who knows? Yeah. But anyways, we hope that you guys are staying safe wherever you are, especially during this time with the pandemic and also with just everything that's going on in your own country, in your own life. Just make sure that you are staying safe and healthy. And let us know what you thought of this video in the comments below. And we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe
to this YouTube channel.
And follow us on
Instagram.
And also, we have a
podcast.
Follow us there. It's
the Happy Project Podcast.
Yes, so we talk about, you know, a lot of cool stuff.
It's not Sky City related, but there I guess there's some overlap, but it's specifically the Happy Project Podcast. But he's the co-host. So if you enjoy these kind of conversations we have, but you want to see it in a less structured form, you know, really just conversational. What's our dialogue like? I think you guys would enjoy that.
Yep. And last but not least, for all you guys that are supporting us on Patreon, thank you so much. And if you want to consider supporting us and supporting the channel, definitely hit up patreon.com/SkySeti.
Yeah, some of you guys are probably seeing the Sky Crew Instagram account. I can't let you follow us unless you're Patreon. That's for Patreons only.
True.
Sky Crew, you know who you are.
For sure. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Remember to always seize the day. Peace.
Peace.